Hey everyone, and welcome to a new series I'd like to call Subscriber Suggests. This series is basically me taking the things you guys suggest me to draw, and then actually drawing them. These suggestions can be taken anywhere, like from the YouTube comment section, to my Instagram, or even people who DM me and say, hey, do you mind drawing this, or trying this out in your style, cause you'd really like to see it. Let's start off with the first drawing that we got here, which is Jim Hawkins from Treasure Planet. If you guys don't know what it is, it's a Disney movie, and I remember watching it a lot growing up. I don't know why, but I think it always aired on Disney Channel. I could be wrong, because it has been so long since I've actually seen it, but because I was doing this drawing, and I usually like watching the media that I'm drawing about, which is weird. So like if I'm watching SpongeBob, for example, then I'd like to draw SpongeBob as I'm watching it to try and capture the character. So as I was drawing Jim Hawkins, I actually watched Treasure Planet for the first time in years to try and capture the character. And I feel like doing that definitely helped me capture his vibe a lot more than if I wouldn't have watched the movie. Don't get me wrong, you could still look at a character and draw the character and then, just come up with a pose and everything, and it'll still look like them. But I kind of wanted him to feel like Jim Hawkins, because I feel like he's a very unique character to a degree. Well, at least, especially for when the film came out in 2002. There wasn't really a character like this who you could see was not so much a troublemaker, but just a kid who really just got into unlucky events all the time. And on top of that, was considered a troublemaker because he didn't really have a father figure in his life. But he himself, of course, had a lot of potential, and a lot of it wasn't tapped into until an event happened, causing him to actually go out and live the kind of dream that he wanted to, and goes on that adventure along the way and all that stuff. I suggest watching the movie. It is on Disney Plus, and it's only like an hour and a half, and it's totally worth the watch. Not only is the story good, but the animation is done really well, and I honestly really like the aesthetic of the film, and how weird they draw some of their characters, and how unique they can really be. So I suggest watching it just to appreciate how the film really looks, especially for its time. I'm surprised it didn't do as well when it first came out in the theaters. It says right here on Google they only made 109 million, which I know is a lot, but it took 140 million to even make the film. So they were in the negatives when it came to how much they made in total, which is a shame, because I really think this movie, maybe it didn't get enough promotion or something. It was honestly a really good movie, so I don't know. When it came to coloring him in my style, I really wanted to make sure that I still got the colors right, because his color palette in the movie is still very earthy, so you have your browns and your greens, and that's basically his whole look, besides his skin tone, which is a very pinkish one. It was actually extremely pink, to where I've never actually colored in a skin tone like that, so I had to mess around with it until I thought it was good enough. It kind of looked like almost like a sunburn tan thing going on, if you know what I mean. Then again, it could be a lot of the movie's lighting, which is very warm toned in certain areas, so it could also be that. And also, when I was drawing him, I did draw the little morph thing, because I just felt like that suited it so well, and it really completed the whole thing. Especially since Morph over there is like his side companion, who kind of makes him feel better and gives him a nice fun time / helps out sometimes. So yeah, there's Jim Hawkins in my style, and I really like the outcome. Let me know what you think about him. The next suggested drawing is of Micky and Sora. Micky being a human version, not so much the regular Mickey version. Now, let me tell you that it was not easy sketching and inking them out. In fact, I had a very difficult time doing so, because they were just not only so detailed, but I honestly had no idea how to pose the both of them in one drawing together. Because although they're seen in the series at points together, they're not really like the duo, you know what I mean? Like, Donald and Goofy are like a definite duo all the time. If anything, I see Mickey and Riku together often enough, and then Sora is either usually with Donald and Goofy, or is usually paired up with Kairi, because that is the love interest. Regardless, after sketching and inking them, at least 20 years of my life has been taken away from me, and I'm probably not going to see it again anytime soon. For the human Mickey version, I decided to go with the outfit from Kingdom Hearts 2, mainly because in the Kingdom Hearts 1 version, it's just kind of like the traditional Mickey red pants with the yellow button and the white gloves, and in 2, he's actually got an outfit that is more like Kingdom Heartsy. Does that make any sense? The other design was much more Disney in comparison. Plus, I'm gonna be real, the Kingdom Hearts 1 version outfit is like basically translates to a half-naked version of him, so he'd have no shirt at all, and I was just low-key not comfortable drawing a shirtless Mickey human version, so I went with the other outfit. Plus, I really liked his outfit in 2, just because it's something that we don't really get to see Mickey in, so I decided to take advantage of that while I could. Also, to help further push that it is Mickey, I decided to put him in a pose where his hands would be like his ears, so it kind of translates to that. I think that's a good translation of character creation though, so this way you could still tell it's him, but it's a subtle enough hint, and it also has the properties of not only his outfit, but things like how the black part of Mickey's skin or his hair, I honestly don't know what that would be in the mouse form, but I translated it into black hair. And then I kept the gloves white just because it makes sense that if he's going into battle, he's going to be wearing some kind of glove to hold his weapon. I will say you could definitely tell that somebody who wasn't on the Kingdom Hearts team drew Mickey, because he is in my style and not so much the style the video game is originally drawn in. Even then, I mean, like, Sora is in my style, but he definitely has a different look to him than what I did for Mickey, which I thought personally made sense because Mickey is not so much a part of that universe, but is tied in together with it. So he wouldn't really look like those characters, I feel personally, but he would still look similar enough to belong in that world. You get me? I hope you get me. I do want to say right now that the hardest part of the entire drawing was Sora's hair. It was a mess. I was like, how do I shade this? How do I even draw it? When I was sketching it out, I was like, what spikes go where? It was a lot, and I was like, this is definitely a character made by Tetsuya Nomura, because he the way he be drawing definitely is out of this world, and you could tell he did it, so that's a 100% on that. But I did end up liking the result of his hair. I didn't think it came out too horrible. I will say I did color outside of the lines a lot with it, because I usually don't do so many spikes and points in my art, so I was like a mess trying to color that in. Also, another thing about this drawing, when I had finished the line art, I actually hated it. I was like, wow, this looks like straight up buns, doo-doo, horrible, and I don't like it. And I was like, man, I don't have time to do another, like, drawing, because I had to film the next day. And honestly, once I put the color down, I was like, man, I really like this drawing. I don't know why I was beating myself up so hard for it. Sometimes it's the whole idea of trust the process, but I didn't want to trust it. I just wanted it to be good from the start, and I was like, you can't do that. You have to be patient with your art always. Also, I didn't realize until I colored in Sora how much, like, meatier I made him. His character's originally really, 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 really thin, and I don't know how to draw really, really, really thin characters, so I defaulted to a normal-ish size. So until I get to learn that, I'm going to definitely try him again. I was really happy with how he was colored in, though, and it kind of made my inner child happy, because growing up, I really, really wanted to draw Sora so bad, because I thought, like, that was the coolest thing to possibly do, like, draw a character that I love and make it look like him. So I was ecstatic to see that when I was coloring him in, it actually came together, and I was like, wow, so many years ago I never thought I could do something like that, but now I can, and it honestly came out pretty good. I really like them. I like both drawings, actually, and I'm happy with the result, and I'm happy to give back to you guys for watching. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Bye.